Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Taco Tuesday podcast. This is Brandon.
And this is Jake.
And we are here to announce the winner of the Andrew WK tickets on May 11th at Codfish Hollow. Pretty excited about it. This has been a long time coming. We have our winner here today with us. We're going to talk to him here in a minute. What's going on with you, Jake? Any news? Before we delve deep into somebody that's not ourselves?
Yeah.
This is a very selfish podcast today.
Right. I did a show in Tennessee. Did great. An encore, a standing ovation. But one guy did not like it, and he posted on the Show Us Your Pokeballs page that I look like a registered sex offender. I'm a little upset about it.
Now, are you certain it was you? Couldn't be...
Well, Dustin Lee was on the show, so it might... and Gerald Bronson. I don't think you know who Gerald Bronson is.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So, well, here's the thing. The guy who said it had long hair, so I was like, he's not going to, go against Dustin, who also has long hair.
Right. That's like a tribe thing.
Gerald was the only person he laughed at the whole time. He just mean-mugged everybody the entire time.
So you know who it was?
Oh, yeah. There was, 20 people there.
Oh, okay.
And every single person was laughing at everybody except for this one guy who was just mean-mugging. And then Gerald did this joke. He's like, I have a load-bearing wall in my house. Do you guys know what a load-bearing wall is? It's the most important wall. It's the wall that I come on. And the guy just lost it. He thought that was the funniest joke. And I think it's a funny joke. But
well, he mean-mugged everybody the whole show and then laughed at that joke? That's what a sex offender does.
Right. Yeah. Well, and Gerald has a joke about how he looks like a sex offender, but he's not. So I was like, it can't be Gerald because Gerald acknowledged the fact. Dustin looks like that guy, so he's not going to say it's him. I'm the only one left.
Right.
He called Nikki a suicide girl reject. He was kind of a dick.
So Gerald's joke negates him possibly being a sex offender. He called it out, so this guy's okay, it can't be him.
Well, and also he liked Gerald. He was the only guy.
Yeah.
I went up first, and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna make you laugh at some point tonight because he
directly
Nikki.
To him.
Yeah, he mean-mugged Nikki the entire time when she was hosting, and I was just I was trying to lighten the mood, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm autistic, and I was like, all right, autistic people laugh too.
Right. You were gonna be the first one to ever laugh.
So, besides that, everything's good. I got my substitute teaching license.
Very nice.
So I can substitute in the Davenport School District, so that's exciting.
You're substitute.
It's the end of the year. I picked a bad time to get it, I guess, but...
Well, no, you start your career off with a little vacation. Right. So, get some time off. It's going to be nice.
That is. I am very smart.
So...
How about you?
I went and saw Infinity War last night, and I'm not giving away any spoilers or anything like that, but I had a by the way... since we haven't introduced him yet, he's been quiet. I want to alleviate that immediately. We have with us, I can't say studio, but in the living room, we've got Chris Schlichting, a buddy of ours, buddy of the podcast.
I said it like I'm surprised. I'm like, oh shit, Chris is here.
You're here. But yeah, Chris is...
Yeah, I've been waiting patiently. I was like... I wanted to chime in on a couple of those things, but...
no, you're more than welcome.
No, now it's too late. I never know the protocol. Do I just wait? Do I chime in,
Yeah, and then Brandon's like, so that guy that was talking that wasn't supposed to talk until we introduced him is Chris Schlichting. That sounds weird.
I like how you introduced me as a friend of the podcast, and I just asked you what the name of the podcast was called. I'm not a good friend.
I have a lot of friends that I don't know that.
Okay, all right.
I'm on a lot of
friend of the podcast.
I'm on a lot of questionable websites, so it's okay.
Our most faithful listeners here today.
I think you can, with the whole Jared Bronson, who was a sex offender thing, I think you can laugh. I still enjoy Kevin Spacey's work.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So you can still, just because you laugh at Jared Bronson doesn't mean you still think...
So you think he
So basically, Jake, don't think that you're the only person that could be the sex offender. You know what I mean?
When I read that, I was like...
I read it too. I saw that. It was really an awful review.
Yeah. When you do stuff like that, you're just going for the jugular. You don't care about the person. You're like, I'm tearing this guy down.
You know what the greatest part about that story was? Is he did it in the middle of the show.
He
Like,
gave the review. In the middle of-
So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so what? And I thought this was a little weird, but it's not my show. So Nikki opened up with like 5 minutes, and then I went up, Dustin went up, Jared went up, and then Nikki closed out the show.
Yeah.
And did some time. And so like at the beginning of her set, she's like, "Hey, we're showing us your Pokeballs. If you don't mind, go on our page after the show and leave us a review." And he's like, "I'm not waiting.
Right.
I'm doing this right now."
He's
And-
like, don't mind if I do.
yeah, it was weird. But when I read that, I was like, I'm the only one that doesn't look like a sex offender. That's what
I didn't
thought.
think you at all, honestly. I immediately thought Bronson, maybe because he does have a joke about it, but,
Yeah.
and because he could be one. I don't know.
I don't want to single him out. No, but that's such a terrible way. Like, just the middle of the show, like, I'm bored. I'll review it now.
Yeah,
And that kind of review, it's like, man,
it's fine. I mean, it's one like you're not going to make everybody like all of your stuff.
And that's you got to learn to deal with it. That's what and especially like, hey, give us a review.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about that, it wasn't constructive criticism at all. It was
Yeah.
it was mean. It was mean spirited.
sure.
But you got to learn, as much as you put yourself out there, that it's not always be smooth sailing. I've made some videos. I've done comedy for a while, and every now and then you get someone. I mean, I've never had it happen to me, but you hear about people getting criticized. No, it does. It just throws you off because you realize you're just trying to make people laugh.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what it's all about. But sometimes people let you know that you did not do a good job, and it just is
Right.
devastating.
Oh yeah, and they
Even
treat
doing-
you like you came over and took a shit on their couch.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Even
Even
you
if
tried
you-
to make me happy.
It's
you
always
failed.
that one person in the crowd who's sitting with his arms folded. Even if everyone's dying laughing, it's that
Right.
one person you
Right.
can't take your mind off of.
Oh yeah,
How long have
you
been
zone
doing comedy
in.
now, Chris?
I think I always say 13. It
13?
feels like, but like I feel it's probably closer to 14, 15 now. Yeah.
So
2004 I started. How about that? Do the math.
14.
14?
So
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's a pretty long time to be doing comedy. When you have like a bad show or something like that happens, does it still bother you, or are you over it now?
I think I'm at a point, which, not to sound conceited, where I know my material works.
Yeah.
And now, if it doesn't go as planned, I just blame it on the conditions.
Right.
Lately, I've done some shows. In fact, I think I talked to you a couple nights ago, maybe last night, Jake, that the last two shows I did were awful because of the setting. One was in a lobby where people were eating, and I didn't get introduced, and they just told me to do comedy, and it did not go well. And I knew it was the situation, but it's still, I'm like, how could I have made that situation better? How could I have helped even in the environment? And then I did another one where I went in between two bands.
Oh.
And it was people were leaving and coming and going, and it just was another situation where it wasn't my fault, but nevertheless, I still think if you're really good at it, you should try to make those situations work. In fact, I think you should try to put yourself in situations like that when when things aren't ideal.
For sure. Well,
I would quit comedy if I did stuff like that. If somebody's like, go between these two bands, I would just say no.
Yeah.
I don't. I just started. I can't do this.
right. Well, for the guy to give that kind of review in the middle of the show, it's like you already know there's something going on upstairs. It's like, dude, stay home. Teach your cats to run agility courses. Don't go to comedy shows at conventions.
Well, at one point I was like, why don't you just leave?
Yeah.
You're obviously not having fun.
Right.
Why are you here?
This has been awful for you. Stop putting yourself through this. Go home.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe his girlfriend broke up with him before he got there.
Maybe we could hypothesize so many terrible things that happen.
What's the Suicide Girl reference? I didn't get that. Like, is that a thing?
Suicide girls are like
You're so wholesome, Chris.
And I teach high school.
I'm on questionable websites. I'll take this one. Suicide girls is like the alternative to like the Playboy pinup who's got no tattoos and her natural hair and everything's photoshopped. Suicide girls are the girls with pierced septums, tattoos, just the alternative to like the wholesome next girl or girl next door kind
Not necessarily negative.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just a different style.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, the concept isn't negative, but when he called her a reject, I think that was.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I guess I missed that.
Yeah, he called her a suicide girl reject. Like, like she's doing comedy because she wanted to do, whatever.
Yeah, that's the natural progression. Oh, you couldn't model, so you're telling jokes now. That's why we're all here.
Like I teach too, so and congratulations by the way in the sub license. But people always say you teach because you can't do anything else.
Yeah,
you teach because
those who can't do teach.
Yeah.
I never understood that. It's like, why would you want to be taught by somebody who can't? You know, they can in some form or fashion,
like
right?
almost all coaches, like in sports, also played. You know?
Exactly. I never understood that reference, but nonetheless,
when people say that to me, I always tell them to fuck off. That's my only comeback. That's my only witty comeback that I've always.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes
go
I'll
fuck
do this.
yourself.
Can you see this on the podcast?
No,
Tell them, will you say I pulled up a knife?
Schlicking has a knife. It is-
Say it again. You think I can't do it? I can cut you up.
he's swishing it around. It's
Yeah.
very dangerous.
Tell them I did not bring this knife. This knife was on the
We don't have the insurance for this.
It's my knife. I'll take.
You're
If anybody
enabling
dies
him.
today, I'll.
You're enabling him, and I'm blocked in.
Look, Chris has kids. I don't. I've got nothing. I've got.
It's just something. I'm sorry. I'll put it away.
I've got kids too, so you've
Yeah, that's why I
you
said
gotta
I'll
take the
take.
bullet while I dodge out the door.
Should I take the knife away from him?
Here.
If you can. I'm
sorry.
That was so easy. that was a lot easier than fighting him or wrestling for it. But no, so my only news really, I went and saw Infinity War last night.
Okay.
And I was in line. I bought tickets online on my phone, and I go to the little guy who's in the hallway who will scan your phone and give you the ticket and send you down the hallway. I'm in the little line, and there is a group of dude bros behind me. And like the alpha in the group is dressing down, I'm guessing who he thought was one of the betas in their group, because he's just being the loudest, most obnoxious dude in the group.
Okay.
And he's dressing down his buddy. I'm assuming it's his buddy, because if somebody was talking down to me like this dude was, I would have popped him. Mm-hmm. But this guy's like, right, okay, taking everything. And the alpha's just real loud, like, you haven't seen Black Panther yet? It's probably one of the most influential movies of the cinematic... And just going to town, telling this kid about Black Panther, super loud so everybody can hear, but giving him all the, none of the facts. Like, giving him everything that he read off of Wikipedia,
Right.
or that he's heard through
like a Rotten Tomatoes review or something.
Exactly. Or he heard through a Reddit review of a Reddit review of the movie.
Right.
And he's just going to town, and he gets to a point where I'm getting annoyed at this point. I was like, shut up. And this guy goes, well, of course, it's like any other Hollywood movie. There's got to be a love interest. Mm-hmm. And there's a love interest between Black Panther and his girlfriend. Of course they don't call him Black Panther and his girlfriend in the movie. It's, what are their names? And I'm not really a fireman, but when I see a fire, I like to help. So I turn around and go, oh, it's Simba and Nala. He goes, thanks, bro. And he keeps going about his business. I look forward, and the people in front of me have looked back like, are you fucking with me? And I wink at them, and we go about our day. So, the only thing that makes me sad about this now is that I won't be able to see the outcome when somebody finally dresses this dude down and be like, did you just say that the two title cubs of Lion King were in Black Panther? Go fuck yourself. That's going to be the best thing, and I'm going to miss it.
You should have followed him home, so that way
Or be like, what's your Twitter handle? Like,
Yeah.
I wanna...
we'll stay in touch.
yeah, I want to hear about the demise.
See, here's my confession, though.
Okay.
See, I'm not into the whole comic book things.
I'm
And
not
so when
either.
you said Simba and Nala, I'm like, oh my god. Lion King is based off the Black Panther comic book series. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's African culture. I'm like, that's how bad I am. I'm sorry. Now I feel stupid. Darn it.
Hey, I'm the oddball here. I like all those movies. Jake, he's like, meh, he can take them or leave them.
I'm gonna go watch like Infinity War. I don't know any. I'm not gonna know anything going into it.
You don't know one of the 47 characters that are in.
I know like 3 probably.
Yeah.
The movie's got like
Captain
24
America.
Oscar nominated
I
actors.
like them. They're interesting, but I have a comic book friend at school, and we'll go to movies. We used to, not anymore, because he'll just nitpick. He'll pick apart every part that's not accurate to the comic book. I don't know if you do this, Brandon, but I'm okay. I'm enjoying Ant-Man. I'm not criticizing that actually his suit was not blue or red or whatever.
He never wore socks.
Yeah. Ant-Man wasn't so